Hi, I'm Jake Longoria, the media broadcast editor of the SCES Octagon, and today we're here with Nate Jakobs to talk all things baseball.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, Nate, this summer you played in the Jewish Olympics in Israel. Walk us through that experience.
Okay, well, I tried out in June of 2016 in Los Angeles among 3 tryouts around the country in Chicago and New York, and was selected the following November. And I made the trek to Israel this previous summer in 2017 for a month in July to play against some top Jewish baseball players from around the world representing their countries. Well, I played for Team USA among many competitions. There were 45 sports. It was the full Olympics, just all Jewish people. And every day we'd wake up around 5:15 and go practice from 5:45 to 7:30, then tour the country of Israel. And we'd get back around midnight and start the whole day over again until the competition, where we went undefeated 7-0 to win the gold medal for the U18 baseball division. And along the way, met a lot of great people from around the world and established some lifelong friendships.
That's great. And so since then, you started writing for a website called NG Baseball. How did you get involved with that?
Through Twitter, the head of that site, Jeremy Frank, he's a statistician. He contacted me. He was aware of some of my baseball knowledge from the past, so he contacted me to write, and I was interested, and it was a good opportunity, and it came at the right time.
So you mentioned your Twitter presence. So you seem to comment a lot on baseball topics just in general and get involved in baseball conversations. How has that allowed you to develop your baseball knowledge and help other people learn more about baseball?
Since Twitter is a great place for people of all backgrounds to come together and talk about any subject, I've been able to connect with some of the most knowledgeable baseball statisticians and writers, such as Ken Rosenthal and Jason Stark of ESPN and The Athletic, and talk baseball and talk Hall of Fame, awards, anything about baseball stats or just writing in general.
So let's touch on one of your stories in particular. You actually covered the World Series, and you talked about what went wrong for Kershaw in Game 5. For people who don't know, that's Clayton Kershaw of the LA Dodgers. So he started off Game 5, and you throughout the story you break down what went wrong. So just let's walk through it. Walk through this live.
So the full season, the whole 2017 regular season, Clayton Kershaw, among the past decade, Clayton Kershaw has established himself as one of the greatest pitchers in the game, maybe an all-time great when it's all said and done. And this year was no different. He was the second place in the Cy Young voting to Max Scherzer, and he came into the postseason with a narrative that he doesn't succeed in the postseason, which has been true in the past. He's been an average pitcher in postseason play. But in the World Series this year, he really crumbled, and that was due to the baseball they were using. Astros starting pitcher Justin Verlander remarked on how when he was signing baseballs before the World Series, it felt like signing a receipt at Target. It was so slippery and slick that he'd had trouble writing his name on the ball, and thus the pitchers, mainly Clayton Kershaw, his big weapon is his slider, which is a pitch that breaks to the side pretty hard. It was really tough for him to throw, so he was out of his repertoire of pitches, so he had a lot of trouble in the World Series.
Was there anything that surprised you about the World Series in general, besides Kershaw failing this hard, and then just from the teams in general?
Nothing was surprising, but we did see a preview of what future baseball may look like, with a high use of bullpens, which may turn into tandem starts, which we can touch on later, which the Astros are a big proponent of. But we saw a high use of bullpens and the starters coming out instead of working through big situations.
So break that down. We'll get into it right now. Tandem starts for the viewers at home who don't know. Break that down.
Okay, so tandem starts is an idea started by A.J. Hinch, the current manager of the Astros. The Astros have been implementing that in their minor leagues for the past couple of years, and what it is instead of a main starting pitcher coming out and throwing the first 6 to 8 innings of the game and then going to 1 or 2 relief pitchers to finish it, a tandem start is where you have 2 designated pitchers for that game and maybe a third reliever, and the 2 pitchers, instead of a main starting pitching role, one will throw 4 to 5 innings and the other one will come in and finish off the game. So neither pitcher faces the lineup more than twice, which is when problems usually arise.
So, you talk about how, you get to interact with, some of the great minds of baseball through Twitter, through the internet, now through NG Baseball. Where do you see your future with baseball?
My goal is to work in the front office of a major league team as either a statistician or to work on the outside as a journalist and see it from a different side.
And statistician. So walk us through what you want. Like how you want to analyze the game of baseball.
So I want to further the different analysis of the way we see a player's value, and it's not just how his team does or the team's result, but it's what this player actually contributes to the game and what that means in the context of winning a game. And from there we can see what is this player actually worth in terms of a contract, or how can we win more games by getting this player over another one who the second may have been known for being a great player, but he wasn't actually as valuable as the first.
So what stats do you think dictate a valuable player?
There are many you can put together, but my favorite, if you're just going to choose one, is called wins above replacement, or WAR. It quantifies or attempts to quantify the amount of games a team wins because of the presence of a given player. For example, if a player has 0 WAR, wins above replacement, they're said to be a replacement level player, which is basically the average AAA player. So if you stick a team of average AAA players into the MLB, they would theoretically win about 38 or 39 games, and every win above replacement more than that wins you a game. So if you have a player who's a WAR of 2, they're said to be an average everyday player, which is a solid player. And if you get to the 4.5, 5 level, you're looking at an all-star, and 7+, 8+, you're looking at an MVP.
So, what steps are you taking right now to develop your career as a statistician?
When I write, a lot of my articles are based off of the statistics that a player has accumulated or is projected to accumulate over his career, and why that is. As for example, when we spoke about Kershaw and his issues with his slider, that could be a good way to measure maybe if these balls are still slick again, Kershaw might have to develop his pitching style a little differently.
Well, it's been great talking to you, Nate. Thank you for joining us. And
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to work out sometime.
Sounds good.
This is Jake Longoria signing out.